Okay, in this video I'm going to do a little bit of a fix up here. As I was going back through the edit here, I noticed that in this shot, thanks to a suggestion from a subscriber, and I apologize to that subscriber because at the moment I don't remember who it was that made the suggestion, but had suggested this little reaction right here. Okay? And yeah, I think it was quite effective. What I realized as I was reviewing here is that we really should repeat that right here. He should be responding to when that rock hits the ground. I don't think there's much doubt that that would be an improvement. So let's do that. Let's do that improvement right now. Okay, so if we scan through our shot, there's the relevant action. Now, of course, we do have a little bit of a problem right here. You could argue whether it's actually a problem or not. It goes by really fast, so you're not going to see it. But if you want to be technical, his hair is spiky, so it's possible that it would actually look like that. The truth is that's an anomaly because of moving him around with the plastic tool. So what I'm thinking is that we've got Ninja 2, we've got the plastic tool, and we've got the pupils of his eyes, which it looks like. Let me just turn these two levels off and see. I don't know if I'll be able to see with the yeah, I really can't see it with the background there, but boom, right there. Yeah, so actually that's baked into this. So yeah, the pupils level is just the dots in his eyes. So that's why they were cut out right here. So really what needs to happen, the simplest solution for sure would be to take this whole block of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did I count that right? 4. Yes. And I believe I want to hit Control. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. By hitting Control, if everything goes goes well, then the keyframes have been selected in addition to the cells themselves. Now the problem we're going to have is that, as far as I can tell, that operation works with dragging and dropping, but does not work with cutting and pasting. So in other words, if I copy this, I am pretty sure the cells will be copied, but the keys will not. That's okay. I mean, we can reproduce the keys. Let's just see what we have here. So we got the rock that falls, which, by the way, needs some work because right there, really the drawing of the rock should probably change. But right here, okay. Okay, I'm thinking there would be a slight moment of reaction. So maybe right here would be the range. So here's 8 frames. We're going to delete them. And then now we are going to have a problem here because, actually, you know what we should do? Let's see if we can do it this way. The problem is if we insert these frames, they're going to move everything else down. They're going to ripple it. Let me see if this works. Okay, that did work. All right, so I can drag this over here. And let me go ahead and do that one more time. Okay, yeah, so it is the plastic tool. And I guess what I really want to do is go Control now. Do the same thing I did before. It doesn't seem to want to grab the keys. So hit Control. Yep, there it goes. Okay, now hopefully, let's do it again. Control, grab, drag. And nothing happens. So this is simply a matter of the drag and drop in Opentoonz is definitely a little, let's call it hokey to be generous. literally I can't drag these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it, paste. So every once in a while that's what happens. You know, you have to sort of do things the hard way. But there are worse things. So there, that's in place. Okay. So now what we have is the pupils in the wrong position. So let's just go up here and look at, I suppose this is what we want to look at, Control C, and it would be on where it goes to number 20. Let me see. Yeah, same frame as this. So I think that's correct. Okay. Alright, so now this is going to go. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. So, and this is the sort of stuff you deal with. Now by pasting that key in there, we have this motion of the eyes leading to this. And okay, so what's actually supposed to be happening here, we'll hit the A key and just animate this. He's supposed to be looking up right here at Ninja 1. So yeah. Okay. So now this is obviously erroneous. And I'm going to check my centering. I don't know, the centering really should be on his okay, I'm putting myself in danger here by messing with the rotation, because if there are no rotation keys earlier, even though it doesn't quite look right to me right now, I might find out that I've taken everything in the whole column and added a rotation that really doesn't belong there. Now that looks, I think the best way to look at this would be to yeah, I can't talk and do this at the same time. Would be to say, hey, if we have to go in and adjust the pupils throughout, I mean, we're only talking about 100 frames or whatever it is. So and I definitely think that maybe going to constant interpolation might be better. I'm not really sure about that. Here, yeah, I mean, that's pretty rapid. I think that's probably okay. I wonder what this is on. I'm going to hit the function editor and look at, this would be the pupils column. So let's just take a look at what the interpolation is. This was originally done quite a while ago, so I'm guessing that maybe the interpolation is going to be, it's on 2s. Okay, so that's good. East, west, north, south. Let's look at north, south. Yeah, it's all on 2, so let's leave it. 2s is good. When in doubt with anime, leave things on 2s. Either constant or 2s. And you can be on 2s, and you can emulate constant by simply copying the keyframe. Like I could take this keyframe and copy it down to here, and then of course it would jump instantly from this position to this position. So that's okay. All right, so what's missing is this key right here. So I'm going to hit Control C. Yeah, and that explains it. There it was. It was definitely missing, and so now we're ignoring for the moment the fact that the pupils are completely whacked. But yeah, this is a little strange. I'm going to hit the X key, and we should be in animate mode, not build skeleton mode. Okay, I see kind of what's going on. Let's go up here and take a quick look at what we have here. Okay, yeah, so the initial position of this skeleton was sort of a deformation. Okay, so what I'm looking at right now is I'm looking at the position of this bone and then these three. Okay, and basically I'm looking at this distance right here because I want to see if what I'm seeing down here is what I think I'm seeing. Yes. Okay, so now if we raise this back up to here, I suppose what we're wanting to do here is take this key and hit Control V so that it goes like that, and then we want to copy it here as well. Yeah, so that means we get this boom, which I think that reaction makes way, way, way more sense. So I'm kind of happy with that. Okay, so now let's go back and see what's going on with the pupils of his eyes. Looks good. Looks good. I'm going to actually put my mouse over the screen here. Okay, I can't do that. Sorry, my bad. I need to set a preview range that's appropriate to the scene. So I'm going to start it here, and then let's go all the way down to the itsy bitsy bottom. Okay, with that preview range selected, that means I can now go through here and just hit Control Shift and scroll my mouse button, and it'll scroll through here. So that really looks pretty darn good. Now we have to play it in real time to make sure the timing is okay. But I think it looks to me like the movement of his eyes is probably okay. So once I approve this, yeah, I think it looks good. So now I'm going to hit rewind and okay. I see a different problem. Okay, as far as his reaction goes, I think we're in good shape. Let's look at that one more time. Okay. It could probably be argued that the reaction should take place a moment later. But I'm not going to belabor that at the moment. The more concerning thing that I'm seeing has to do with the rock. The rock keeps switching drawings, and then it's being scaled down. So to me, I'm going, why are we not rotating this drawing here as well? So that as it's falling and shrinking, it's continuing to change shape, right? Frankly, it doesn't much matter what shape we pick because it's so small that you can't really see it anyway, but there should definitely be some sort of change. Now, what the problem that we have is we're getting to here and it didn't continue to shrink, which is kind of stupid. Okay, so now we've got this growth here to accommodate the emergence of the smoke. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that key down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue this shrinking action. So I'm hitting the A animate key, scale, and we should be on 2, so I'm going to continue to shrink this down and see what happens here. Okay, I see what the problem is. It needs to be even smaller. Okay, so now I think from here to here would appear to be interpolated. I mean, that's on 1s. Let me just look again here. So I'm seeing we go from this. I'm in the wrong place here, aren't I? I want to be here. Okay. Let's save ourselves some headaches and go to frame 1 so that when we scroll down, our 2 spreadsheets are in sync. I've complained in other videos about what you're seeing there, but okay, so now let's just have a look. And we see it shrink. So this problem would seem to be here. I'm going to delete this key. That way it'll just continue to shrink straight through. I think that will solve the problem. So let me Yeah, I mean, isn't that it? Isn't that right? I think that's right. Let's kill the function editor and hit the play button and see what happens. I mean, I really shouldn't have put the... I shouldn't have put the... or not explosion, but the... You know, I shouldn't have put that in the same column as the rocks, frankly. I should have just done them separately. It would make things a little simpler for sure, but... Let's crop this to the camera so we only see what the camera sees. And I'm just going to click any old column, so hopefully that'll make it so I don't see that bounding box, which is kind of distracting. This will be okay with a sound effect. Okay, am I right? Am I thinking that his reaction shot should be happening a tiny bit later? Am I correct about that? I'm going to see if I can do something here. Okay, I think he should be reacting just a little bit later. So I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to hit Control. Please work. Opentoonz, don't be stupid today. All right. And I'm going to copy these. I'm sure this is not going to work. What I want to do is just grab all this and do a control drag. And nothing happens. See, that's the drag and drop behavior is definitely a little bit strange. Control X. Okay. Now I'm going to go Control Z. Or I'm sorry, Z in my case. I have my hotkeys set up a little bit differently. Okay. And now I'm going to... And by the way, what I'm doing right now, there's a better way to do it that I'm going to show you in a second that will actually save us a lot of headache. I didn't think of it until just now, but let's see what this does. Yeah, hit Control V doesn't work. Here's what I'm going to do. This is, if there's a tip that comes from this video, here's the tip. Okay, what we see, and I'm going to make actually a mental note here and jot it down. His reaction shot begins at frame 113. Okay, so our problem is that we want to retime it. Okay, we're on 113, and we probably want to start the reaction shot more like 118. You know, like 6 frames later. So he's reacting to the explosion thing. The problem is 2 problems. One is, as you can see, the drag and drop operations are a little hokey, and it just isn't simple to move things around as we would want to. If I grab this and drag it right here, that kind of sort of works, but it kind of sort of doesn't, because it doesn't drag the keys along with the cells. Okay, if I hit Control, maybe that'll do it. Let me see if that does anything different. No. If I hit Control when I select it and then let go of Control, doesn't do it. Okay, so this is going to be a really kind of a funky way to solve this problem, but we're going to use the fact that the timing information in a sub-xsheet is independent of its parent xsheet. So what that means is I'm going to take these 3 levels that all represent Ninja 2, and I'm going to collapse them into a sub-xsheet. Okay? Now I should be able to go into the sub-xsheet and simply hit Alt down arrow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and now when I climb up out of here, everything should happen where it's supposed to. And indeed it does. Okay, so that's a simple kludge that fixed it. And if I want to, I can now explode the sub-xsheet again, which is right here. Explode the sub-xsheet. And a little concerned because it looks like that might have blown up Opentoonz. I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm going to say it might be a good time to save my work. Okay. Explode sub-xsheet, I said. Okay, so now it brought the sub-xsheet back in, and let's see if our timing was retained. And indeed it was. So that was exactly what we wanted to have happen. Now the one thing I would criticize is that these two keys right here should be actually moved back up. So we have a little bit of a moment after he has that reaction. Boom. Okay. So that's what you do if you have this kind of clunky timing problem where there's too many columns that you can't just use alt. Okay, and by the way, I say alt up arrow, alt down arrow to sort of add or remove frames across the whole X sheet. The problem is that those are not the default shortcut keys in Opentoonz. Okay, what I'm doing is let me find it here. I don't even remember where it is. X sheet probably, yes. Insert frame and remove frame is what I'm doing. If you hit insert frame or remove frame, it will everything in the X sheet gets either moved up or down, deleted, whatever has to happen so that you can just shift everything up or down. So it's either going to insert frames or delete them. It's a really good way to work out timing. The problem is if I have to work out the timing on 3 columns or levels and not the rest, I can't do it. And you can see that all the other commonsensical ways to do it don't work that well. So the simple solution is make a sub-xsheet, retime it, and then explode the sub-xsheet. Or don't. Just leave it in a sub-xsheet. But, okay, so the good news is, if we play this back now, we now have this super cool reaction shot when the rock hits the ground, which is exactly what we wanted. So that it definitely is an improvement. Kind of fix the rocks a bit, and I see there's something wacky going on here down at the bottom. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, this actually apparently should be extended across here, down to here, and now we can re-render and cut it into the show.